It's the International Soccer Preview. We are Soccer Files Canada. Welcome to Series 31, looking at the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode is looking at the players of South Africa. Part 1, the candidates. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the International Soccer Preview by Soccer Files Canada. I'm Kevin and this is Series 31 on the players of the 2025 African Cup. This episode covers South Africa's players. So we move into Section 3 here, and welcome to new listeners because we're doing a short version for listeners for Section 3 here. So this is the short version on South Africa's players. In the full version, we introduced the candidates and their likelihood of making the final squad. So for those just listening to the short version, what we did in the full version was gave the reasons behind our predictions here, mostly based on participation over the last couple of years, and we gave biographical or career information on the main candidates. So we're not concerning ourselves with predicting starters at this point, but what we're talking about is their likelihood of being selected for the final squad. And we'll talk about predicting starters in part 2, which will come out in December. So let's take a look. Manager Hugo Broos has been there basically since 2021 and has had success, so we don't see any danger to his position as the manager. And moving on to goalkeepers, we have two definite candidates in Ronwin Williams and Ricardo Goss, and a likely candidate in Sifo Cheney. And we do have candidates at the possible but unlikely level and at the seemingly off the squad level, but we're not going to mention them in this quick review. But we will talk about them more in part 2 if they end up being selected. Let's move on to the defense and central defenders. We have quite a few names here. The position seems quite undecided. So we have no definite candidates, but 3 likely candidates in Mbakazali Mbakazi there, and secondly Nkosanathi Sibisi and Rushwin Dortley, all 3 of those likely candidates. And then we have 5 possible candidates: Siabongo Ngazana, Thabo Molosane, and Kulumani Undamane. The 4th one, Ime Daniel Okon, and finally Malabongwe Koza. All 5 of those possible candidates. We have 6 more at the, or 5 more at the level below that, which we won't get into, although one does include a veteran who we're going to talk about in the next section. For left backs, we do have a definite candidate. It's Aubrey Modiba. No one at the likely level, but 2 candidates at the possible level, Samu Kalo Kabini and Fawaz Bassa Dien. On the right side, the right backs, no definite candidates, but 2 at the likely level. That's Kaliso Mudau and Thapelo Morena. And we also have 2 at the possible level, Naiko Mobi, sometimes called Sydney Mobi, and also Zuko Umdunyalwa. Those are the right backs, and we move up to the midfield, and we're talking about defensive midfielders. Actually, just 1 player coded as a defensive midfielder, and at the possible level, that's Bathusi Obas. But we have more candidates in central midfield, 2 definite candidates, in fact. The first is Taboho Mokoena, and then Talente Mbatha. We also have 1 at the likely level, Sfefelo Sitole, and then 1 at the possible level, Luke Leroux there. So that's the central midfield. We don't have any candidates coded as left and right midfielders, and they don't use a 4-3-3 formation. So we go upfield onto the left attacking quadrant, we'll call it. Left attacking midfielders, or perhaps attacking wingers, or even a forward, although they don't use a 4-3-3 formation. So forget it, I just said that. We have a definite candidate for left attacking midfield, and that is Oswin Apollos. He's actually coded as a central attacking midfielder, but has been playing on the left there. He's a definite, and none at the likely level, but at the possible level, we have Rele Bohil, Mofo King. On the right side, we have no candidates at the definite level, but two likely candidates in Mohau and Kota, and right back the Pelo Morena, who's been playing as a right attacking midfielder over the last couple of years. We have three possible candidates: Percy Tau, Chapang Moremi, and Camogalo Sabele Bale. Those three candidates possible. Central attacking midfielders, we have no definite candidate, but a likely candidate in Sifo Mbule, who is actually coded as a central midfielder by most sources, but is playing as an attacking midfielder when they use that formation here. We also have a possible candidate as a central attacker, and that's Umduduzi Shabalala. And we move right up to forwards now, and here we have no definite candidate either, but a likely candidate in Ikram Rainers, and then two possible candidates in Lyle Foster and Evidence McGopa. So again, if you want more information, you can look at the long version and see why we think that way. But that's it for our review of candidates. Let's talk about some big names who are off the squad. We mentioned their names here, but yikes, where did they go? Oh, okay, there we go. It's Sianda Zulu. He was actually a definite candidate going into the last cup, and did play afterwards, but not since March of 2024. So Sianda Zulu suddenly off the squad there. But even more of a veteran is Themba Zwane, the central attacking midfielder, who also was a starter in the last African Cup, but has not been called up since October of 2024. All right, let's do a review of injuries here. Actually, no, not a lot of injuries, just really the one player here, Rushwin Dortley. An interesting case. He kind of came into the team and immediately started 6 of their games, and then was out for all of 2025 for knee surgery. So very unfortunate for him. We don't have any information about when he's coming back, so we'll have to put him in the unknown section here and then follow up this story in part 2 of the mediacast. We are previewing part 2 here. So when the final selections are made and we know who has been selected, that's when we're going to do part 2. We expect that to be in early to mid December, and we're going to do part 2 then, and we will tell you who made the preliminary and final squad. We'll tell you about notable non-selections and surprise inclusions and any new players there, and we'll also update on injuries, in this case just on Rushwin Dortley there, but any new injuries we'll also mention. And then for fun, we have the spotlight review. That's our prediction of starters, but we're going to look at the games between now and the start of the Cup to hopefully get a better idea of who looks like they're going to be the starters. So that brings us to the end, and we hope you will join us for part 2. We would like to thank Pixabay and Cold Fingers for the wonderful music used in this mediacast. The title of the piece is Eid Mubarak.